So, in and out of CrowdStrike several times throughout the year, and I know that both Stephen and John, as active traders, they tend to keep track of how they're doing in individual stocks. If your trade success rate is high, then you'll continue to trade around that stock. If your success rate is low, you're going to put it in the penalty box. So I've done a good job trading around CrowdStrike. I was out of it at a much higher level. I think most of the liquidation and the correction that has unfolded here as longer duration assets are being sold off, that's been absorbed by CrowdStrike. I think, and I said this last week to you, I think fundamentals matter for this company. Cybersecurity and the contribution that it's making matters. So very willing to step in here with the stock down around 200 and reinitiate the position, and that's exactly what I've done.
Yeah, about $100 off of the high. I'm looking right now. 52 weeker is 298. We're at 198. We'll call it there. So, by the way, your whiteboard's been empty for a long time. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe that's a statement in and of itself. You've had nothing on there for a while. Well, I can't barely see it. American Express, you sold it.
I did.
Why?
So American Express, Scott, I increased my exposure to financials back in September when we were kind of climbing that wall of worry. September 23rd is the actual date of the purchase for American Express, 163. October earnings, the stock got up to 189. I don't like to turn winning trades into losing trades. In addition, as we're seeing this yield curve, which I discussed with Steve Leisman before, continue to flatten, that is having a negative impact on financials. So I just have too much exposure in financials. This was a leading candidate to liquidate, as I said, because from a profitability standpoint, you don't want to see that trade turn into a losing one. And in reality, I think upon liquidating, it actually will be a small loser. The net of all my moves ultimately is going to be that I've raised a little cash here today.
So are you making a more blanket statement about financials in general beyond American Express? You're worried about rates, the yield curve, because of what the Fed is gonna do?
Well, I think my actions are more what I would call a reaction to a lot of what I'm seeing here in terms of the way financials are pricing. But yes, I think there has to be a degree of concern as you have these two forces that the Federal Reserve is going to have to digest and therefore align a policy accordingly. It's inflation that doesn't appear to be as transitory as it thought. And then it's a yield curve which is significantly contracting. That's a dynamic where one of those forces is ultimately going to have to give. And I got to tell you, I feel badly for the chairman right now. He's in a very challenging position.
Why, are you worried about the yield curve inverting?
I think you, without question, have to be, for sure.